Hey, everyone. It's Let Me See Your Transcript, your very favorite history teacher. Normally, I come on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, and also on Saturdays at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. But I wanted to come on today and I wanted to get back to what I really came into Secktah to do, is to stop Umar Johnson and to highlight the reason why people shouldn't follow him, listen to him, especially about gentrification and also about that Black Parent Advocate book. So 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks, maybe it was 3 weeks ago, he was here in Houston. And maybe it was Mama Oya, maybe it was Jesus. It really rained downpour that day, and so I didn't go. Probably was a good idea. I was looking on King Kong Consciousness on 60 million views to see if they had recorded his speech, and it was not there. And I noticed it was not on Facebook or Instagram either. So I did, the other day, I was like, let me do some Googling. And so I found out that there were people who actually went and they recorded. It was like three or four, maybe five individuals. And I picked the one I think who had the most clear view and sound. Uh, and so I'm going to do a reaction video today. He also went to Austin. Someone made an Austin video, not an Austin video, a Dallas video. And then I'm looking for, and I'm also looking to see if anyone has the Austin video, because I kind of want to know, are you saying the same things everywhere you go, or are you switching it up depending on, how you feel, um, how many donations you need, or how many videos been made about you, things of that nature. Okay. So grab your drink, grab your popcorn. We're going to do a commentary and reaction video. This is, let me get screen share. And please forgive me, I probably will move my screen later because my late lunch, early dinner is on the way. So this was at the Shrine of the Black Madonna here in Houston, Texas. One of the places that he's been to before. And I did a previous video last month saying, hey, y'all, he's coming here. Here's how to contact the people to stop him coming. And unfortunately, it did not. I called as well. So this is, let me put this up here before we start. Also check out, I think his name is Yazi, Easy. Hold on, what is his name? Freezy. That's his name. Freezy, because he has other videos too. Y'all need to check him out. All right. So let me put this up here before we get started. Disclaimer. This video is protected by Section 107 of the Copyright Code, which allows for fair use for purposes such as criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so this is Umar Johnson, July 10th, Houston, Texas, Shrine of the Black Madonna. Let's get started. This is the part one, because he divided up into two parts. I want to say this one was actually in the Shrine. Looks like this is the Shrine Cultural Center, which is next door to the auditorium of the church, because I've been inside the auditorium of the church when the former, what's her name? Is her name Ellen? I can't think of her last name. Was in former Black Panther who did a talk at the Shrine. We were in the sanctuary, which holds a lot more people than you see right here in the Shrine Culture Center doesn't hold that much. But okay, all right.
Listen, brothers and sisters,
Hey, girl.
white people are racist. All of them.
All of them?
Y'all gotta stop this who's not a racist talk. They love this narrative on TV.
Wait, didn't Kenan Barbie show up to one of his Black Parent Advocate things and bought his books? Was they racist too? You took their racist money, didn't you? You took their racist money.
Scottie Pippen,
Hey,
called the coach of the Bulls, Phil Jackson, racist. And now they all saying, was Phil a racist? That's the wrong narrative. It's not about individuals.
I see some
white people are racist as a group. Racism is a group, y'all. Racism is not an individual personality characteristic.
This is called state of the.
You know why? Let's say this whole room is full
state of the race.
Some of you are crazy. But listen, for the sake of conversation, this whole room full of white folks.
Y'all like, share, subscribe. Check this out.
That racism is not a group thing. White people do not work together to systematically oppress black folks. That means every time I meet a white person, I have to give them the benefit of the doubt. Do y'all see this? I have to let them in my life. I have to let them in my circle. I have to give them a chance to show me that they're not to be trusted. But what you felt
you're not to be trusted.
One chance might cost you your life. All those lynch victims, one chance. James Byrd, Jasper, Texas, 1997, 98. Those white boys who brought our brother to his death, they were his friends. One chance. That's how white folks keep black people distracted. That's why we can't get involved in black liberation, because I got to study this white person before I judge him. I got to study this white person before I judge him. I got to study this white person before I judge him. But when a white person walks in a room full of black folks, it's all one. You got to understand all white people are racist. There's not a white person. The Scandinavians is racist. The French is racist. Italians, Anglos, Jews, they have to be. What do you mean they have to be racist? Because white people are genetically inferior. What do you mean by that? The white man can only reproduce himself in a white woman. The white man cannot reproduce himself in a black woman, Latino, Chinese, Arab, Mexican. Anything a white man touch produces more of that. He's genetically recessive. The black man is genetically dominant. If I touch a white woman, it's a black child. Chinese woman, it's a black child. Not that you cool sugar. Like, yeah, I can't even make a damn point. I can't look at it there, yeah. Chinese cookies, yeah.
Who is the man on the left? It's a guard?
Yeah.
I'm gonna run up on him.
I knew he'd come around, yeah. I want to be a Mexican, yeah. But the point that I'm making, not that black men should, because I'm against the total. But if I touch the woman of another community, I make myself. And I'm the only man in the world who can do that. The black woman is the only woman in the world that can do that. This is why they don't like you. This is why nobody likes us.
Didn't know that. Y'all know more than me.
They hate the fact that the black man can reproduce himself with his. They hate the fact that the black woman can reproduce herself. And then they shame you into not having children. You're the only people in the world who get shamed for having large families. I was in China twice. They making babies. East India making babies. You think they listen to the white man talking about some of their birth control? East India is like the third fastest growing country in the population. China is second. Ain't nobody listen to the white man. The reason the white man say stop having babies because his women don't do a good job of keeping them. Oh, you ain't breaking news? Last year, it was reported, or the year before, that 25 of the 50 United States,
really?
And then I want you to do your research so you don't think I'm making this up. You'll find it. 25 of the 50 United States reported a population growth rate of 0% for white people.
What did we do that?
Do you know what that means? That means in those 25 states, that is half the country, More white people are dying than are being born.
No, they're just not having as many
So
children.
if you're wondering why,
Combined with all the other minorities.
Black power! Black power! Black power! But you'll get some cool in here who say that's not good. Let me go help. Betsy May! So I believe that part of the reason for the uptick in hate crimes against black people, and part of the reason for the uptick in police genocide against black people, it was always there. But the uptick, part of that is the rage of the white man, who says, well, we're trying to get rid of them. We're the ones losing. Do y'all see that? And I'm going to tell you another reason why this is happening, because even though they're trying to LGBTQ the black children, just by consequence, you're LGBTQ on the white kids. So you take a white folks who already have trouble reproducing, and now you're going to push the gay thing on them. And so even though you really want it for the black kids, you're eating your own numbers up too, trying to get us. Yes, brothers and sisters.
Hey, HM.
They hate black folks. Why do you think they're going to lynchings? They always castrated the black people.
And Desert Woman.
They lynched the Chinese. They didn't castrate Chinese. During the anti-Chinese movement in the 1800s, they
wrote a whole act excluding them from the United States.
They hung Jews, they hung Italians, they hung Mexicans, they hung Native Americans. They did not castrate. 99% of the time, whenever they hung a black man, they castrated. Why did they castrate the black man, but they didn't castrate the other men? It was because of the genetic power of the black man.
Oh my God.
Not the size of the black
man.
See, somebody, yeah, they jealous because I'm thinking, no. Not all black
men are blacks.
Plenty of sisters are tiny. It ain't because of your size. It's because the power to reproduce yourself at will. One black man, 1,000 white girls can turn that whole city black in 20 years.
What the heck?
That's why they want you to give your daughter an HPV shot.
See, that's wrong. That's wrong. See, I'm gonna stop right there. I'm gonna stop right there. See, this misinformation. HPV, the human papillomavirus, that women actually get from men. It affects women. Hey, Ms. Fellow Speaks, because it may lead to cancer. There is no cure for it. They just now, in the last few years, made a vaccine so that you can give it to girls and boys, so they don't give it, so this next generation doesn't give it to each other. It's too late for the women who already have HPV. Ooh. Men who have HPV really doesn't affect them a lot. But their partners, yes, it does. Man, got y'all here talking this bullshit. I'm sorry.
Cancer. Y'all better cut it out. They making our little girls sterile.
No, it's not.
So many black women getting abortions, find out they'll never be able to have another child because they fixed their fallopian tubes.
That's not how you.
This is war.
That's not how abortion works. They don't. That's not how abortion works. When do they touch fallopian tubes when they have abortions? They touch the fallopian tubes when they have tubal ligation. You're so funny. Yeah.
We once owned 500 hospitals in this country. We hardly own any now.
What are the statistics and sources?
In 400 years, we own 500 hospitals. You know what that means? That means black people owned at least one hospital for every year we've been here under white power, because we've been here longer, but under white power. More than a hospital. Where the black hospitals at? And you wonder why we dying like flies when we go see them. Only thing a white man want to do when a black person comes to the hospital is give you a prescription or cut something out. That's it.
That's great. We
cut something out.
White
White woman got to get a surgery, they put everything back. Black woman get a surgery, they have a big ass stick going from your underarm to your head.
Oh, wait a minute now.
Let me stitch up the chicken or something. Brothers and sisters, all white people are racist. The reason you have trouble understanding that is because you look at racism as a form of hatred. You don't have to hate people to be a racist. I need you to get this out of your mind.
Teach.
Your white friends might like you, but they still racist. Racism is about what? Controlling opportunities and resources. Racism ain't about whether I like black folks. Racism is about whether I want white people to be in charge of black folks.
Correct.
You see the difference? Y'all think they gotta hate you to be a racist? No, they don't. No, they don't. Racism can come with hate. It doesn't have to come with hate. The only thing that you have to do to be a racist is to want to deny another group.
Okay, it's 19 watching. I got 11 likes. Please hit the like button. If you want to contribute to my
who's ever tried to undo it, you can't name nobody.
Please hit my cash app if it's right here, because I'm out of green apple Smirnoff.
10 lines. Listen, I can respect what they say, but here's my question to Jay Elliott.
Okay, I'm sorry, everyone who just came in late. Okay, so I explained earlier that I had been looking for, he was here 3 weeks ago. It was raining really, really bad that day, so I didn't go. It probably was a blessing for either Jesus or Mama Oye that I didn't go. This is from July the 10th here in Houston, Texas. Several groups of people, like 4 or 5 people, filmed or recorded him speaking there. So this is from Freezy's channel. Y'all please go check him out. Please subscribe. He has some other videos of Umar too. Some longer ones and some shorter ones. So just like, yeah, D. Durrell said he went to that one. And so I wanted someone else who went there who showed the whole thing. I didn't want to use Mr. Durrell's video. Just a reminder, this video is protected by Section 107 of the Copyright Code, which allows for fair use, such as criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. This video is a commentary and a reaction video. Okay? Let's get back.
I said, why? What have you done
Thank you.
to level the playing field? I don't care about the books and the speeches and the interviews. No. When have you went amongst your own white people?
She has one about her own white people.
See, these white liberals, they love to come in front of us and show off how liberal they are.
Oh,
No, that's not.
Okay, Jane Elliott is woke. She talked about woke. She started with her own students in 1968
and
after
once
Dr.
you get amongst the
King
white
died.
people, Jane Elliott, and watch, what are you doing amongst them?
Correct.
No answer. They're not doing anything amongst them. That's why you can't bring no white
Anything in the
people.
chat, 20 likes. Please hit the like button. Please like, share, and subscribe this, please. Lord, it's a good thing I didn't go to
White
this.
people don't share power with black folks. That's right. Why do you think they're gentrifying Houston? Because they don't want you around.
Thank you.
Philadelphia.
See. He took a little kernel of truth and then he stretched it and made a generalization. It's called white. Yes, we do have gentrification here. Here in Houston. There are also people, black people and other allies who are trying to stop it, who are fighting against it, and encouraging gentrification. Okay? So, in the community, and then where the shrine is, it's still black. Is Umar girlfriend's white mama race? Is he still even with her? Hey, Spider. Okay, I'm trying to understand.
We lead the nation in
Now he's gonna let it to Philadelphia.
San Francisco.
Philadelphia ain't Houston.
Guess what
Houston
else
ain't Philadelphia. That makes similarity.
Charter school.
See, he used to work at charter school.
The relationship between the charter school and gentrification is real simple. If you want to get rid of black people, you can't just show up and force them to leave. You gotta make it look like you're coming to help.
Correct.
So what you do is you show up in a
Wait a minute. Didn't he work at a charter school in Philadelphia? Was it like a pro-black charter school? In Houston, this is where I live, there are public schools. There's a Catholic school, 2 Catholic schools, and KIPP charter school. And by the way, across the street from the shrine is KIPP, a KIPP charter school who is doing really great things in our communities. Some of the teachers and administrators are white, but a lot of them are also Black or Hispanic. Oh my God. They literally across the street from the shrine. And there are Black charter schools. Some of the Catholic schools, because of funding, they became charter schools. So they can still be up and running and teaching students. Oh my God. See, I had a good thing I didn't go to this.
the Black ghetto in Houston and tell the Black folks that you opened up a charter school. And the mothers and fathers will be so excited that they now have an educational option that they won't pay attention to the fact that all the teachers and staff who work for the charter school are buying up all the houses in the neighborhood and all the storefronts and all the lots, and they secretly
I don't know nobody working
and so
kid
what
who's
looked like
doing
it's
that.
going to be the Nat Turner School for Black Liberation became the Adolf Hitler Charter School for white crackers.
Oh,
If you want to get rid of Black people,
generalization. No, sir.
do some research.
No.
Look at the cities with the most charter schools. They have the highest amounts of distribution.
Yeah, remind me to look that up.
If you want to get rid of Black people, act like you want to help their kids. They won't push back. Guess who else is part of the gentrification movement? The banks. Excuse me, not the banks. The universities. The universities and colleges.
Now I will say
are the
Rice
biggest
got
gentrifiers in the
accused
city.
of that.
Give me the top schools in Houston, and I'll tell you the top gentrifiers in Houston. Did you know the number one job of a university is not education, but real estate?
They accused Rice
you know
of
the
that,
number one
and
business
they're
of
actually the
McDonald's
white
is not
students have been
burgers and fries,
pushing
it's real
that
estate?
back.
Yes!
But 2 of the largest
The
universities
fast
are in the
food
Black
joints, the
area.
banks, the universities and colleges, and the charter schools
They're not
are all
gentrifying the area.
part of the
When I go over there, I
gentrification
don't
movement.
see it.
And you Negroes got a nerve to think when you see a new Walmart, you thought that was for you. I was in the county the other week, they built a
I saw
new
your video
Walmart.
earlier.
I
Thank
had
you
a
so
Negro
much.
say, wow, look what they gave us. Negro, 3 things when you see them, you know you ain't got much longer in that neighborhood. Walmart,
Facts.
movie theater,
Facts.
Starbucks.
Facts.
I would have said yes to the Starbucks. But the other 2,
You
come
see
on.
Starbucks, it's over.
Walmart is
So much. When I was growing up, we didn't have a Starbucks. Now we got a movie theater. I could walk to the movies. I got a Walmart down the street. Negro!
Wait, didn't he
This
say
ain't
he
for
was
you.
down the street from the movie theater when he was a kid?
White folks showing up, putting cars in your door. You ever thought about selling? And y'all so thirsty. You say, well, my mom paid $50,000 for this house back in 1940. The white people offered me $250,000. I stand to make $200,000. No, you don't, because you're not accounting for the cost of, what's the word? Inflation. Not only that, can I ask you a question? Once you take that little measly $250,000,
$250 is not measly.
which is probably worth $1 million, but once they give you that $250,000 that you won't pay taxes on,
I feel like he ain't do good in math class.
do you know what you about to go do? What is your silly ass about to go right back out there and do? Buy another house! You already own one! But you were so intoxicated at the sight of money that you didn't even realize they are making you homeless or will make you buy all over again. And this time you ain't gonna pay 50 grand like grandma. Stop selling your real estate. Hold on to it for your children.
He has on some type of African type t-shirt with the onk on it and blue jeans, I think, and tennis shoes.
What do you think is worth more to your great grandson?
The last time he was here in Houston was 2016. Me and my friend almost went. We both were like, nah, we probably shouldn't go there.
Which will still
It was a good idea.
The problem with Black people is we don't think about generations unborn. We think about
they like this narrative, and also, like you said earlier, about echo chamber, and also we look at their seats missing. And like I said, this is not the sanctuary of the church. This is in the cultural center, which holds less people. The church holds like
they thinking about their great grandchildren.
I went there with my friend. We could see the former Black Panther, chairman of the Black Panther. Her name is Ellen.
Because you can't pass no damn weed down.
Oh no, this was a free lecture. It was actually a book release.
And say this is for my great granddaughter. So she can have the blonde weed made in Malaysia.
Everybody on the team.
Who ever saw some shit? You ever see somebody say, I'm passing these Air Jordans down. They're the special edition 15.
That was
Air Jordan 15. So my great grandson.
Hold on. That was put, I think, in the second amended complaint, but it wasn't in the third amended complaint. And I never got any extra information on that.
Can have a pair of the special edition Jordan 15. So you spend $30 billion a year on weed permit review. You spend $2 billion a year on Air Jordan.
Where do you get these statistics from?
Have you ever seen somebody say, I'm going to put this special bottle of effing, or what else I drink? Crown Royal? What else out there? Because I don't drink.
See, he said he don't drink. Okay, now I want us to find some pictures of him drinking.
So my great grandkids can know what it was like to turn up back in 2020. Can somebody tell me, what do Black people pass down that we waste money on? Help me out. Well, let's go to chicken, turkey, beef, and pork. We spend $800 million a year, nationally, Black people, on chicken, turkey, beef, and pork.
Where is his sources?
They say, I'm going to save this. This damn heart disease.
Oh, you said when he is in the future, when he's older,
so they can
he can pass it down to his grandkids.
Huh? What about the video games that y'all buy y'all kids? And can I say this? I want to know, how is there a video game system in a house with a child barely passing school?
Okay, now that little point does resonate with me. You know, but that, to me, that's all about boundaries. You know, get your work done first, then you can go play. And by the way, there are Black people who are gamers and who help develop video games. I don't want to be like, oh, we just talking bad about video games.
Texas, I'm a little lost because I'm seeing little kids with these units. How much the unit cost? A PlayStation is how much the unit?
Oh, I know it's so
What's
easy.
another one?
Who's the gamers? I got an Afro 2K presents. He's a guy. Or the Friday starters. They are gamers.
$60. Y'all see that? So you spend $5 for the unit. It's about $60 for the game. And somebody told me the other day that there's some games you have to subscribe to online and pay a regular fee to keep playing.
Oh, so like streaming for games? Okay.
And your son and daughter got these $500 units with $60 games, and they got like 20 games.
28 watching, 23 likes, 1 dislike. Please hit the like button.
How in the hell you got a $500 game unit you can barely read? No special ed child should have a video game unit in their house.
Okay, that's going too far now. That's going too far.
They can't do nothing about it.
That's gone too far.
Can't do nothing about it. Brain injury. Can't do nothing about it. Autistic. Can't do nothing about it. But if you tell me your child got an IEP for a so-called reading disability and a so-called math disability and a so-called ADHD and a so-called conduct disorder and a so-called emotional disturbance, no video game unit in the house.
This is dangerous.
But you can do something
This is
about all of
dangerous.
those.
No.
Oh, yeah. Because if I'm the first to tell you, the learning disability is not a scientific reality. That's a white man's opinion.
See,
The math disability is not a scientific reality. It's a white man's opinion. ADHD is not a scientific reality. It's a white man's opinion. Conduct disorder, intellectual disability. Most of the labels that black kids have in Texas are not scientific.
Exactly.
Oh, you don't believe me? Let me ask you a question. Where in the brain is the reading disability? Is it in the front? Is it back here with the napkin kitchen? Is it up here when you got the sew in? Can somebody show me where the ADHD is at? Where's that?
Miss Furlow Speaks. He's not right all the time. What he's saying is very dangerous.
Is it by the third eye?
He hasn't been in a classroom in 10 years.
That your children's lives are being destroyed.
He has not kept up with his certification. Make them active. This is dangerous.
Can't be seen with a blood sample. Can't be seen X-ray. Can't be seen ultrasound. Can't be seen MRI. And you know why they can't be seen? Because they don't exist.
And you ain't seen no kid in 10 years.
ADHD ain't nothing but ain't no daddy at home.
See.
Ain't no daddy at home.
Okay, see. Okay. Number one, you're the parent. And to say that, oh, if your kid is special ed, they shouldn't have a video game at home? Wow. Do you have structure for your kid at home? There are some kids who have learning disabilities. They do very well with games. They're doing a different part of their brain. It's an incentive. They need to do their work first, then they can play the video game. Or they can do their work first and then get on the internet. Yes, there are a lot more inclusion classes because I have a class, I'm social studies. I have more special education students, and I may have a co-teacher, okay? I may have a co-teacher or another assistant to help me. The IEP is a plan to help your child. Preferential seating, hard copies, check for understanding, peer tutoring, one-on-one help, extra time, oral reading of the test or the assignment, retest, recheck. He literally said, ADHD again, ain't no daddy at home syndrome. This got 2 daughters that he is not actively in their life. So that means your daughter's got it too? You bastard. You should know better because you're a goddamn school psychologist. Girl, Miss Furlow Speaks. He's like some of these pimp preachers. Go back and look at some of my video. Go back and look through the video. I'm going to make it available where I go over that book. Oh, that book is horrible. It is horrible. A parent should not. Oh, Lord Jesus. Yes. They have to go to a medical doctor. Yeah, severely, if that person has a severely math problem or severe English problem, or like I said, it's an emotional severe, they may be separated. But if it's just like you're like borderline, you got like, you know, you can be in a classroom with assistance, you're gonna be in a regular ed class. Okay, this is great strategy. Your son is only allowed to play on the weekends. And then I saw another parent. They're actually a family. They're a black family vlogging family, and at night they take all of their kids' devices, their phones, their a laptop, iPad. They take them away so they can go to bed and go to bed on time. I'm like, that's structure on top of it. It's like, no, a doctor usually said, a doctor, MD, prescribes ADHD. A psychologist does like educational testing, usually based on what the medical doctor said. And then they use the medical doctor, the school psychologist, and the diag, and then the teacher and the team usually, and they come up with a plan. Usually the diag explains the IEP or the FIE or the behavior plan. It depends, because sometimes ADHD, if it's coupled with a learning disability like reading or math, they probably will get an IEP. A 504 or a student with who's getting special education services, both get IEPs. Because I've had both. I've had students like, hey, we know that there's an issue here. We know that you have ADHD. You don't qualify for social ed, but you do qualify for 504, and they got a IEP. And I have to do the combinations and things for that. Okay. So yeah. Yeah, if you only, yes, correct. If you only got ADHD, you get a 504. But if you like your ADHD, you're learning disabled, you're math disabled, something like that, then you get under the umbrella of special education services. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, our ISP is for any 504 or learning disabilities. Because I've had both in my class. They're just not in the same department. It's like IEP stands for Individual Education Plan. Hey, Ray of Sunshine. I can't believe it. Ain't no daddy at home. So you said it. And why? Their parents in there gonna take it across the
black
street to their
boys
school.
taking ADHD medicine don't have a father figure in their life. This ain't got nothing to do with no neurological deficiency. This is about locking up black men and leaving the mothers at home to raise men on their own.
Oh, the hypocrite.
Absence of discipline from the home. And if you say that,
okay, carry
absence from the dad from home, and it ain't absence from discipline home.
Carry in. I'm going off my experience in education. 504 is for everything. It's like, hey, this kid has an issue. He should be having accommodations and services, but he doesn't qualify for special education. He doesn't technically have a learning disability. But we know under Section 504, he should have one. And I get an IEP for him. It's just called that. It doesn't mean, yeah. We can get into semantics. We can get, we can get into that. Right? Okay.
Then it's an artificial diet at home. Too much sugar, too much caffeine, too much high fructose corn syrup.
Look who's talking about too much high fructose corn syrup.
Throw out everything in your cabinet and in your
I think we said the same thing. Okay. We both saying the same thing, and we both know he's full of shit.
And sugar was once classified as a drug by the
only if it's prescribed by a doctor, the nurse, and they have to take them during the day. Who's security? Are they switching them out?
For the sugar companies,
they're switching out the security.
Controlled substance. That's why sugar looks like crack, weighs like crack, they got the same side effects as crack. Some of y'all itching right.
Oh, so let me get this straight, y'all. We've been saying that he's allegedly a crackhead, right? We've been saying allegedly Umar Johnson's a crackhead, right? Because of his behavior. So is it not really crack, but sugar? Is this why he because you know he likes the Schweppes ginger ale, he likes the zebra cake. You know, one time he had some chips, banana chips, and he had like a little water thing. So that means it's not he's on crack. He just got a lot of sugar. and he likes to got a cheesecake factory. Do you know it's sugar in that? Oh my goodness. Exactly. Only if the tell them. Lord, he's talking about that's why sugar looks like crack. Is that the reason why you look like you was a crack? Look at you. Yeah. Oh Lord. Let me keep
right now for a damn fix. ADHD ain't nothing but a joke. They gave us ADHD the same year they gave us crack, but they can make money off of fatherless boys. I'm giving you the fact. A conduct disorder ain't nothing but Caucasian disorder.
Oh.
Black kids are tired of being mistreated by white women. They talk to our kids any kind of way they want. And when a black boy gets tired of being talked to any kind of way he wants, he blows up at the white teacher. Oh, he has a conduct problem. No, he got a Caucasian problem. Y'all don't know how to treat black people. That's what it is.
There are white kids with conduct disorders now.
If you call an Asian a slur or tell them they brought COVID over here, which is wrong, you go to jail. The anti-Asian hate bill makes it a crime to use a slur against the Asian. I don't think I heard it.
It's about violence, though.
For using slurs with Asians, but you can be called the N-word for 400 years. No law against that. Teachers call black kids the N-word every year. No punishment for that. What happens?
Okay, he's oversimplifying that point. There is already hate crime legislation that's in check, which was mostly benefiting Black people. All the Asians in Congress got together and pushed for the anti-Asian immigrant COVID bill. And because, you know, there are white people who see them as a model minority, that's why they voted for it. But as many times that I've seen white teachers say the N-word, they get fired. And the bill is about violence against Asian people because of COVID. Yes, girl, this was him in Houston, the ShrineoftheBlackMadonna. Lord.
If they catch you calling the LGBT a slut, you lose your damn job. Kids get expelled from school.
Black folks are calling us a slut. They get fired too.
And part of this is our fault because we want to be accepted by white folks. The biggest reason why Black people haven't made more progress is because you want to be accepted by the people you have to fight. You can't win a war when you're in love with the opponent. You can't win a war when you're in love with the opponent, brothers and sisters. You gotta wake
hey,
up,
Kelly G. Hit the like button, y'all.
Black people, I'm tired of white people.
Is that you?
Okay, you can go to Africa, but I'm telling you right now, you ain't going to Africa. I can help you if you got a damn white spouse.
There are white folks in Africa.
Weave a perm. I'm not picking on my weaving perm sisters. I still love you now.
There are African perms in Africa.
But you can't go to the motherland with European tricks. Because Africans and
why you get to determine who gets the fucking dog?
So if you go over there and we confirm, they're gonna think that's what they should do. Can't do it. You ain't going over there with no S curl or Jerry curl either. This is Houston. I heard y'all do that, man. 100 degrees with a damn Jerry curl. Shit! H-Town, still knocking boots.
Yeah, Ray Sunshine. I did a video about contacting them to stop him from coming. He came.
Do you know?
He came to Houston. He came to Dallas, and then he just came back from Austin last week.
Google on your phone. Get on your phone and type in cities for sale. There's 24 cities.
You tried to buy a city. Hell, little Elizabeth tried to buy a city.
One of them is in the state of Texas. There's a whole city for sale in Texas right now.
Lord.
So if we really wanted to be so free, so damn,
hey Mookie,
why don't we
that's
just
a
all
sweet
raise
people.
the money, buy the damn town? They already got all the institutions there. You just got to fix them up and open them up. If black people wanted to be free, why don't we just go and take over the town? You ain't got to worry about police genocide no more. You know why? Because you want to incorporate your own police force.
Hey y'all, after this, please meet me over on my friend Mookie's channel. He's gonna have a really good live today.
No more police genocide. You can have your own town. So can somebody tell me, with all the Black Wall Street people celebrating, why black folks ain't one of these towns? There is one group in Georgia. There is one. Y'all might have heard of it. It's 19 families got together and they bought a bunch of land and they built it.
Never Yankee. But what he's saying is dangerous about education, though.
You want white people to accept it. Yes, you do. You absolutely want to be liked by white folks. That's why soon when we graduate from college, we move right into a white suburb.
It's not that we want to be accepted by white people.
If you don't live with white
We
people,
just don't want to be oppressed by white people.
You gotta live with white folks. And then you talk about how violent the inner city is. When soon white people start gentrifying the neighborhood, you follow them right back into the ghetto. I thought we was violent. Why did you come back? Because white folks.
I know, Ray Sunshine. I know.
Stop letting white people define your reality, brothers and sisters.
Who's Fred Todd? Hey, Rex, what you saying? I haven't seen you in a while.
Question before I start signing these books. My parents.
Don't talk about that book.
10 things.
Ooh,
10 rules you can use in order to succeed in the schools. Number 1.
Oh no.
Don't ever go to a meeting for your child again at any school in Texas.
No.
Public school, private school, charter school, parochial school, independent school. Don't go by yourself. Always take somebody with you. No parent goes to a meeting alone. And why don't you go to a meeting alone?
What if you have
Because
to go
public
alone?
schools are criminal enterprises. And you need a witness to any decisions. You need a witness to any arguments. Black mother, y'all make a big mistake when y'all go to these schools by yourself. You have nobody to testify as to what they said. Well, they told me they wasn't going to suspend them no more. Who heard them say that? There was 20 white people in there. I promise you, not a single one.
You just need to ask for it in writing.
In fact, the reason why they brought 20 crackers into the room is so they could have their witnesses testify to
And
their
you
lives.
know it's 20 white people.
That's right. By the way, there's no limit to the amount of people you can bring into a room, so bring 20. If they got 20 whites, you bring 20
No,
whites.
see.
I'm dead serious.
Now I have to admit, I
For
will
one
say
black
this.
brother, they'll bring you the principal.
Okay, I will have to say, he said don't ever go alone, but sometimes you might have to go alone. But remember one time before he kept saying, oh, bring people in your family, someone on the corner. I'm like, you can't bring everybody with you to these meetings. Now I have been, when I helped kids on juvenile probation, I was the educational specialist. So they would come to me because some of their problems were at school. And so I would talk to the mom and the kid about any issue that they had in the school. So sometimes it was credit, sometimes because a doctor did say that they were ADHD or any other diagnosis. And because they're special ed, they kept getting in trouble, kept getting, OCD, conduct disorder, opposition to violence disorder. And they kept getting in trouble. So the school treated them like a regular student and just suspends them. But what they needed was a different way of disciplining them because they had an emotional disability or emotional disturbance that was not being addressed. Because sometimes some students have a learning disability and an emotional disturbance. And some schools only are working on the learning disability. So basically, I would go with the mom to the school meetings to help her. Now, a person like me, yes, I would recommend you find someone like me to go with them. But if you don't know someone, you may have to go. So I would say, hey, if there is an educator in your family, ask them for help. Don't listen to Umar Johnson. That would be great. Okay. Ask another family member to go. Ask for things in writing to take with you. Okay. Yes, exactly. CCTV. He's about 20 people. And I've also, if any parents want to know, I've actually helped parents write a formal letter requesting that their kid get tested by the school, because you just can't say, oh, can you test my kid, because that's not proof. With a letter, the school has 30 days to respond. And some parents don't know how to write a letter. Yes, we all get a copy. Exactly, Sor Veritas. Exactly.
Principal intern, the vice principal, the dean of students, the school nurse, the school secretary, the school social worker, the school psychologist, the home and school, the grade leader, the classroom teacher, the classroom assistant, the floor sweeper, the window washer. One black mother, 20 white folks. Why are they there? To make sure they have enough evidence and to also intimidate you. And so, number one, don't go to no meeting alone. And number two, do not be intimidated. I want you parents to understand that you are always the expert on your child. Did y'all hear what I just said?
But yes, you are the expert on your child, and these are the people
I'm an expert at what I do.
Y'all part of a team.
I give them an IQ test. I give them a reading test. I give them a math test. I give them a writing test. I give them a listening test. I give them a comprehension test. I give them an emotional screener, a behavioral screener, a psychological measure, a visual motor measure. I observe them in the class. I interview the mother. I interview the teacher. I review all of the previous evaluations on the school record. And even after I did all that, I still only know a fraction of what you know about your child. So I'm telling all the mothers in here, and all the fathers in here, and all the grandparents.
Because it comes with responsibility, accountability, paperwork. You see how you just got the IRS stuff.
The only person who has to live with the
IRS form.
in that room. There's only two people who got to live with the decisions you let the white folks make about your child in that room, and that is you as the parent and that child as the student.
And unfortunately,
those white folks will never see them again.
Make excuses for their children too, and we're trying to tell them, hey, your student needs help.
Stop letting white folks change your mind. Next rule: stop getting children 8 years old and younger evaluated. You are an embarrassment. Why am I seeing 5-year-olds get tested for ADHD? Why am I seeing 6-year-olds?
It's called developmentally
Why am I
today.
seeing 7-year-old first graders getting tested for math? Why am I seeing 8-year-olds get evaluated for conduct disorder?
Oh my goodness! You just say don't get your kid tested.
Test your baby. That's crazy. Is it legal? Sure. Is it good practice? Hell no. Why not? The younger a child, the more likely the diagnosis may be.
No, he wasn't a counselor. He was a school psychologist.
The younger the child, the more likely the diagnosis will be wrong. Right now, I got all these parents getting up about autism. Dr. Umar, my daughter 10. Excuse me, my daughter 2. They're the test. I said, listen to me. I evaluate kids for autism all the time. At 2 years
Since when?
There's no way.
Since when?
I know that a 2-year-old little girl or boy is autistic. Well, she ain't started talking yet. How do you know it's not a speech problem?
Excuse. See, this is dangerous. What I'm talking about. It's dangerous. He hasn't taken any continuing professional development classes in these last 10 years. He hasn't been in a school these last 10 years. There are new things in education being found out every year. How dare you tell parents not to get their kid tested? Shame on you. Oh yeah, Nappy Yankee. There was another guard there earlier, and then they just switched him out and put him there. No, he has a license. He has not kept up with his continuing professional development credits, so his actual certification is inactive. Oh Lord Jesus. Yes, but like what if our school are not your enemy? They're not your enemy. Teachers, educators, administrators, we should be working as a team. I always told my parents, me and you are on a team. This ain't just your child. This is my child, our child. Hey, Holly B. Oh my goodness.
He ain't start talking yet. How do you know it's not a hearing problem? He ain't start talking yet. How do you know it's not selective mutism? He ain't start talking yet. How do you know it's not verbal abuse or sexual abuse or physical abuse? Do you know how many conditions will mimic autism? Well, see, Dr. Umar, I want to get my baby some help as soon as possible. Time out. Autism is not the common cold. Autism is not cancer. Autism is not heart disease. With cancer, you want to know as soon as possible. Do you know why? Because you can get rid of it. Heart disease, you want to know as soon as possible. Do you know why? You can reverse it. Common cold, you want to know as soon as possible. So don't turn it to the flu, and you can get your lemon and your ginger and your echinacea and your cayenne pepper and your vitamin C and your spring water, right? But can I ask you a question? Does autism have a cure? So if autism has no cure, meaning your child will be autistic at 2 or 5 or 7. Why rush the label at 2? Why not take your time and get it right?
No, you don't take your time. You got to address it as soon as possible so they can get the necessary help.
With other autistic children, they will start acting autistic. They will start looking autistic. They will become autistic. Not because they are, but children become like those they are around, just like you. So a kid who was not autistic will start to look like it. Because mommy and daddy got brainwashed into thinking that the younger the child is, the better off it is to label them. Nothing could be further from the truth. Nothing could be further from the truth. Do not test babies. So why is the school constantly asking me to get my 5-year-old tested because they think he needs reading help? I'll tell you why. Number 1, special ed is money. Number 2, special ed is money. Number 3, special ed is money. The reason they want the babies labeled and receiving services is so they can start building the state, building the school district, building the intermediate unit, building the...
And see, what he doesn't know, if he knew he was talking to his audience, Texas has actually been under fire by the federal government and in the court system because the way that they were grading schools, they would grade them less poor if they had too many special education students and not enough of them taking the regular assessment. So schools were underserving students who really didn't need special education services, but were not getting them because they were being penalized by the state. So actually what he's saying is a contradiction to what has happened here in Texas. There were Black and Hispanic students who should have been getting special education services because they actually had a learning disability but wasn't getting it because they were getting penalized by the state. Yes, schools do get extra money for special ed. But at the same time, they get penalized for having too large of a special education population. And that really messed up students the last few years. Oh, you had to a motherfucker come to Houston. Yeah. Shit.
Health insurance. It's about money, brothers and sisters. They don't give a damn about your kids. They have to get a certain number of kids in that program every year in order to make sure these white people can keep their lights on in the suburbs. Okay. Oh, yeah. Let me tell you something else you better do. If your child is in special ed, let's say you believe your child is, right? Every 3 years in the United States of America, special ed children must be tested. Every 3. Did everybody hear what I just said? Every 3 years. So if your child was tested in the 3rd grade, they have to be reevaluated in the 6th, reevaluated in the 9th, reevaluated in the 12th. But guess what? The school is allowed to give you a waiver form. What is a waiver form, parents? It's a form you can sign saying, my child don't need no more testing. He can just keep on getting special ed. Can I ask y'all a question? If your child been in special ed for 3 years, why in the hell would you sign a waiver to not let the school psychologist test your child again to see if he's made any improvements? You want to know why you want to sign a waiver? Because they're going to get you in an IEP room and they're going to start brainwashing you. And they're going to say stuff like, he's doing so good. He is right where we want him to be. I am so proud of Jabari. Your son is making phenomenal progress. I think the IEP is exactly how it should be. And you start listening to the white folks, and one cool, because there's always a cool. Right? Think of it. Every IEP got one cool, one Nubian Negro, whose job is to make all these black mothers in Texas go along for the get that. And you sign that damn waiver. So if you got tested in the 3rd, it's time for the 6th grade eval. You sign the waiver, so he don't get tested again until what grade? And then you sign another waiver, you don't get tested again until what grade? And that's why a lot of black parents don't find out until 12th grade the kids can't read. Because they had your ass signing waivers every 3 years. And instead of listening to Dr. Umar, who said, get that eval, find out if your baby made any growth. The school is going to make it look like he made growth because they want to keep it.
You should, as a parent, be on top of the services that your child gets. But I just feel like he was really over exaggerating things. The school is not the enemy.
In the money, and they don't want the teacher to lose their job. I'm telling you how it really goes. Oh, this is how it goes. Special ed kids are worth twice as much as the regular children. All right, so let's say your son. Is that nothing? Oh my God. I didn't know that was you back there. I got the voice. The voice said it was like a second voice. I'm not going to see now. But listen. Mecca got a son, hypothetical. He's in the 2nd grade. She allows the white folks to test him for reading problems, ADHD, emotional, autism, intellectual, whatever you want. He gets an IEP in the 2nd. So, in his school district, the kids get $10,000 spent for their education. Once Dr. Umar evaluates Mecca's son and say he has a reading problem, he ain't worth $10,000. He worth $20,000. Special ed kids are twice as much. Did y'all hear that? So guess what? He's in the 2nd grade. So they're going to get $10,000 in the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, all the way through 12. So 10,000 times 10 years, 100 grand for one child. 10 children is $1 million. 20 black kids in Houston, Texas is $2 million. 30 black kids in Houston, Texas are $3 million. Can I ask y'all a question? How many black kids in special ed in the city of Houston, Texas? I'm willing to bet you Houston's special ed budget is no less than $250 million. And it's probably much higher than that. And you know what's sad? Not a single black child will be in special
That
ed
makes no damn difference. You
black
see,
parent
ISG got sued for having
Let me
two
explain
less
something, though, 'cause
kids
y'all
on
love to
special
call me up and say,
education.
Dr. Umar, they put my kid on drugs.
What the
Dr.
hell?
Umar, they put my kid in special ed. Dr. Umar, they said my child had a reading problem. You are being dishonest. You shouldn't be saying they. You should be saying we. Because you got to sign your name 3 times before special ed starts. You got to sign your name for the school psychologist to test your child. You have to sign your name to agree with my psychological evaluation report. You have to sign the IEP. And you have to sign the special ed service agreement. Without a special education service agreement, they cannot take your child out of that class and put it with the special ed teacher. You had to sign 3-4 papers before your child went to special ed. And you know what really makes me upset with a lot of our parents? Is when you call me for help, my first question to you is, what is your child's disability? Guess what? 90% of the time, y'all don't even know. So let me get this right. You get a new IEP every year. So that means you had to sit in a meeting at least once a year and sign your name on the paper, and your child is in the 8th grade, been in special ed since the first, and you can't even tell Dr. Umar what the disability is. That's striking. There's only 13 of them, y'all. Speech and language impairment, deafness, blindness, traumatic brain injury, orthopedic impairment, multiple disabilities, a child who is
I'm gonna
deaf
check my
and blind,
special education
other
friend.
health impairment,
I think there's more than
autism,
13
intellectual
now.
disability, emotional disturbance, and I'm missing one. But traumatic brain injury, if I didn't say it, there's only 13 of them. You mean to tell me you don't even know why your child is receiving an inferior education? We got to do better. We got to do better. Some of y'all don't know when the last time your child got evaluated. I don't know. Do you have the evaluation? Let me look at it. Email it to Dr. Umar Johnson at Yahoo. I don't know where it's at. So what the hell are you calling me for? You don't know. And you wonder why they screwing your child up. Every school has a blacklist. You know what a blacklist is? It's the list of black parents you know you better not mess with. They are organized. They are serious. They advocate for their children. They are not scared of white folks.
I
If
love
you're
this
not on that
type of
list,
thing.
you're not a
I
good
ain't never
parent.
seen no
It's just that
blacklist.
simple, brothers. What else do I need y'all to know? I need y'all to know that if the child gets evaluated and you don't agree with the evaluation, you have a right to a second opinion. It's called the Independent Educational Evaluation, IEP. You're going to get a copy of my book today. All this is in there. All this is in the book. That's why you need to get Black Parent Advocate today. I didn't write it for my help. I wrote it for you. And I wrote it because once that Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy school is up and running, I will not be available to help y'all as much as I've been doing it.
Yes.
For my past 20
Misinformation.
years. I'm not going to be available because I got to make sure the kids are learning. So I wrote that book so you have something in your
No,
hands.
you wrote that book to
When
get
you
some
have a
learn.
problem, you can
And
turn
that book
to the
is
problem.
trash.
This is the letter that I need to send to the school. My son informed me that you forced him to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, even after he told you he doesn't pledge the flag. You told my son that he has to tell you why he doesn't pledge the flag in order to be exempt from pledging the flag. Well, I'm here to tell you that the United States Supreme Court has already ruled that no child can be compelled to say the pledge or stand for it. Right. And because it is a constitutionally protected right under the First Amendment, my child doesn't have to explain why he's not pledging the flag. The next time you harass me about this fake ass white patriotism,
Oh my goodness. That has nothing to do with special ed. That mother.
You gotta know your rights. You gotta know your rights, brothers and sisters. If you, that's why I gotta come back and do the boot camp.
No.
When they evaluate the kids, they use
No boot camp.
Let me say this again. Some of your children
I'm gonna be out there with a sign, y'all. I'm gonna have it.
Do you know how powerful it would be for you to write a letter and say, the IEPs that you gave my son hasn't been used for 20 years. Can you explain to me why you didn't use it currently? They gonna look at you like you crazy. How do you know that that's an old test? I'm gonna tell you what else you better stop doing. Never let them give your child an abbreviated intelligence test. There's something called and abbreviate. A regular IQ test takes at least an hour. Abbreviate takes 10 minutes.
Who's giving kids
And they
this?
are classifying black kids as retarded on a 10-minute IQ test.
What?
Oh, yeah.
When?
And some of you love white folks so much, you didn't even question the damn school.
Jesus, be a fan.
You know why black kids score lower than the white kids and the Chinese? It's because the white kids and Chinese are smart. It's because of the IQ test, you got 4 scales that go into the overall IQ score.
Oh, Lord.
You got nonverbal reasoning, how well you can solve problems that don't require speech. You got processing speed, how fast you can execute. You have working memory, how well you can hold multiple pieces of information in your mind and work upon them at the same time. And then there's one more. What's the last one? Verbal comprehension intelligence. You know what this is? This is the words and ideas and definitions and concepts that white people use, that black people don't know and don't need to know for nothing relevant in their life. Are y'all following me? It is this one scale of the IQ test that explains why the black kids are always doing 15 points lower than the white. So then you might say, Dr. Umar, why don't they just take out the verbal comprehension and use the other 3? And my answer to that is, are you crazy? Because if you take out the white words from the IQ test, guess what happens to scores now? Black kids might start outperforming the white kids. America can't let that happen. You know why? Because if America lets the black kids outperform the white kids, now you got to explain why there's only one black kid working on a medical degree at the University of Texas. Now you got to explain why there's only one black kid in the engineering program at the University of Dallas. See, the way that they can deny opportunities to black people is by making sure we score low on the test. I don't know. Let me ask you this. What is the relationship between your LSAT score and your ability to finish law school? What is the relationship between your MCAT score and your ability to finish med school? What is the relationship between your SAT score and your ability to finish college? What is the relationship between my graduate examination score and my ability to earn my doctorate in clinical psychology? Do you know the relationship between the two is almost a perfect 0? There is no relationship. So let me ask you a question then. If the LSAT score has nothing to do with how well you do in law school, and if the MCAT score has nothing to do with how well you do in med school, and if the GRE has no relationship to how well you do in college, and if the SAT and ACT has no predictive validity for how well our kids are going to do when they graduate from high school or college, why do they still get these tests? You know why they get these tests? Because it is a way to discriminate against black people in front of your face without you even knowing. That's why they do it. The test score is the new Jim Crow sign in Texas.
See,
80 years ago, they didn't want no blacks at the University of Texas. They simply said so. No blacks. They can't say that. So you know what they do now? They test you up. Do not apply to the University of Austin unless you have an 1800.
There ain't no University of Austin.
Do not apply to the University of Texas Law School unless you got at least a 30 on your ACT.
Guess what?
What they do is they look at the
If
average
you
number
have
of black kids.
special education, you're
They
getting
raise
learning
the requirement
services. You can use that to get extra time on the SAT, the LSAT, the ACT,
And the
fool.
score has nothing to do with how well you're going to do. Have y'all noticed that there's a trend right now where the colleges are now accepting applications without the test score?
Are your babies with
Have y'all
you?
been seeing this? Now,
I
here's
don't
the
have any
question.
children.
After all these years, why can you now apply to the University of Texas and you ain't got to take no LSAT, no GRE, no ACT? You know why? Because they have already kept so many black people out that they don't have to use it no more. It's the same reason why they legalized marijuana after they sent 1 million of us to prison. Because crack and guns, they locked up so many black men, they don't need marijuana. Once they achieve their goal, it goes back to normal. Can I give you something else that will go back to normal? 20 years from now, I promise you, 20 years from now, I absolutely promise you, it might not take 20, but by 20, there's going to be a counter movement against the LGBTQ. I promise you. Once they get the black birth rate to where they want it at, there's going to be a counter movement, and they're going to start promoting same-sex families all over again. I promise you. This is only being done until they get our numbers under control. And why did they release the COVID? The number one reason they released the COVID, disease, pandemic, scamdemic. Cut it out. Cut it out, ladies. You know why they released the scamdemic? Because people are living longer.
What?
And the oldest people in the world are black. And most of them are in Africa. In the United Nations, according to our global estimates, in the next 20 years, there's going to be more old people than young people. Now, here's my question to y'all. Why is that a problem that people are living older? Think about this from a capitalistic perspective. Under capitalism, there's only two people who matter. Those who work to make the stuff we sell, and those who buy the stuff we make. If I can exploit your labor, and if I can exploit your dollar, you're no good to me. Now let's think about old retired people. They don't work, so you can't exploit their labor. And they don't need much, so you can't exploit the dollar. But they do become dependent on the society that they paid into, right? So they expect a little bit back. But the white man says you should be expecting nothing back. So the reason they released the scamdemic is to kill as many old people as they can. What does Cicely Tyson, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, Hank Aaron have in common?
Oh no, you didn't
They are
say
all elders. Can anybody tell me why
Italy died from COVID?
With the COVID? Because Italy is home to the oldest population of white people in the world. COVID was a way to wipe out as many black folks as they possibly could. Think of all the people
Ain't only black folks who died from this disease,
Almost
man.
everyone was an elder. Almost none of them was young people. They are trying to kill off as many blacks, elderly blacks in the world as they possibly can.
And how
Do
come
not take the vaccine.
Africa has some of the lowest rate of people dying from COVID?
They said people who took the vaccine are still dying from COVID. Right. So why in the hell am I going to take this damn white man
people who are
shot?
not vaccinated.
And you telling me I can still die? I thought the purpose of a vaccination was to prevent outbreak, cracker.
It's an unvaccinated.
But they telling you you can still get it and still die after you done took the shot. And you got to take 2 doses. I'm not taking no damn 2 doses. As I prepare to wrap up, take out your phones. I'm going to give you my number in case you ever need to reach Dr. Umar. If you ever get an evaluation that calls your child intellectually disabled, I want you to email it to me. I will freely review the evaluation for free of any child who has been classified as intellectually disabled, which is formerly known as mental retardation. And the reason I will look at it is because black children in America are 4 times as likely as white children to be called retarded if they are not. So some of y'all out here got your kids thinking they slow. And you need Dr. Umar to look at that report. Get it too.
A lot of black parents don't want their kids to be diagnosed at all.
I charge $75 for that meeting. We'll do it over the phone. And I'll make sure you read.
How much he said? Wait, hold on.
Intellectual disability out of
Hold on. How much he said he charged? Hold on, I'm going to go back to that. Go back to that. Sorry for eating y'all.
I want you to email it to me. I will freely review the evaluation for free of any child who has been classified as intellectually disabled, which is formerly known as mental retardation. And the reason I will look at it is because black children in America are 4 times as likely as white children to be called retarded if they are not. So some of y'all out here got your kids thinking they slow. And you need Dr. Umar to look at that report. Get it too. So if you need to review your child's case or anything else, I charge $75 for that meeting. We'll do it over the phone. and I'll make sure you read what you need to know. But
Wait. Hold on. Wait a minute. Did you just say he charged $75 for a meeting over the phone if you email him or texting your paperwork? Oh, so we got another scam going on. You're not certified. Well, your certification for school psychology and assistant principal are not up to date. You haven't attended any continuing professional development training, but it showed you there are changes in the special education arena or career center, and you are charging people $75 to talk to you about an IEP? I should have found out who down there at the Department of Education. So I can force your ass, because this ain't right. $75. I thought he was gonna say free, but no, $74 to get an opinion from a y'all. It was good that I didn't go down there. It was good. They would have had to sort my ass out. Oh Jesus! Hey, the Afrocentric woman. You're welcome, Holly B. He said $75. $75. $75. $75. And you ain't got the most updated information. If you know somebody from Houston or know somebody from anywhere else, they follow Dr. Umar, please send them this video. They know they should not be listening to this man at all.
But if it's intellectual disability, I don't charge because it is a crisis.
Oh, he don't charge for intellectual
Phone
disability
number
crisis.
215-989-9858. 215-989-9858. One more time for my special ed veteran.
Lord. Should we stop here or do part 2 another day? Because I thought he was wrapping up, but there's actually another like 45 minutes. And I'm just like, Jesus. I hope some of y'all cashed out the stuff because I'm out of green apple Smirnoff. I need a drink. Look at Jerry. Okay, you over there sounding like young Pharaoh now. You better calm down. Oh Lord. Okay, I think I'm gonna do a part 2 to the thing. And plus I need to get ready for Mookie's video. There's been a controversy that has arisen in the Black church sector that he's gonna talk about. And I want y'all to join me. There's a pastor that has a sex scandal, and he's going to talk about it. My Cash App is not saying correctly. Did you put the $ in front of it in all caps? It's not all caps, but the first part is all caps. LMSYT, and the rest is transcript. I have to put it out because I need to go. Sorry, my lights went out. My dog, and he's leaving, pulled out the plug. Yeah, that's my Cash App. Oh, Lord Jesus. Whew. Thank y'all for being here with me for an hour and a half. This is only the first part of his speech, lecture, talk in Houston. I have to come back either maybe tomorrow and do part 2. But I need to drink. Stuffy said. Oh. Look at Carrie. I think I walked the circle to get it. Oh. Thank y'all so much. Please join me and my friend Mookie and hey, Slander God. Hold on. Yeah, I'm going to Mookie and Tamika Sweet Pea Brown next at 6 p.m., which is 12 minutes my time. Slander God, is your thing set up for tonight? Because that's the only way I'm going to be able to share it, is if you already scheduled it. Did you schedule it? Mookie is coming on in 12 minutes, and then also Slander God is having a trial for Steven at, is it 8 p.m. Eastern, which is 7 p.m. Central Standard Time? Okay, let me. Thank you, Carrie Wilson. Thank you, Muslim, for the Cash App. Appreciate it. To get me smurred off, because I'm gonna need something. I'm gonna need something. Oh. Let me. Okay, I'm looking for it. Okay. Okay, I just shared it, Slander God. Okay, so I'm about to go over to Mookie and Tamika Sweet Brown are about to start in 10 minutes. And then after I'm at I can't even talk. Mookie, as I'm on Mookie's channel for this is a commentary about this pastor sex tape that I'm gonna meet y'all over in Positive WH channel for the trial of Stephen Gitano. Okay. Thank y'all so much for going through this with me because this is a very Lord have mercy. Y'all get y'all drink. I'll talk to y'all later. Thank you for the cash apps. Thank you for being here. Love y'all. Bye.